Welcome to Garage Sales Unhinged.
where the characters are as quirky as the finds.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Jake.
Join us as we dive into the wild world of garage sales, yard sales, estate sales, and anywhere secondhand sales are happening.
From bizarre bargains to hilarious haggles.
You won't believe the stories we've got lined up.
Let's get unhinged.
Jake, I love to travel. And it's not just I love to travel. I like vacation. I don't want to
There is
travel.
a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to travel for vacation. I want to go somewhere and be waited on and sleep in and do all the fun stuff and forget about reality. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Breaking news.
When's the last time you went on vacation? Or
Oh, it's been a while.
this? What's your most memorable vacation?
Well, buy me a little bit of time while I think about that.
No, we're gonna sit here.
Uh,
I have a very clear story of a vacation from our childhood. Whenever we drove out to Carlsbad Caverns,
okay.
we had the Astro minivan.
Mm-hmm.
The Astro minivan, we had the bucket seats up in front that mom and dad sat in. And then we had a middle row, and then we had a third row. And to get to the third row, like we would crawl over the middle row to get back to the third row. And on our road trips, there was always two people in the middle row and one person in the back row. And usually that third row was our older brother. But
Right. He was like, I'm a moody teenager, so I need to sit back here with my Walkman and listen to the Guns N' Roses soundtrack. And
Guns N' Roses was mine. But yes,
Oh, whatever.
do all that. Well, on these road
He was
trips,
probably listening to Extreme. He had like
yeah, he was
Queensryche. Like in retrospect, he wasn't edgy. He was lame.
not was, is.
Dude.
So on these road trips, mom and dad came up with a new rule and said, hey, we're going to switch out. And so that each one of the kids, we could have access to the third row and get a little bit of freedom. We could stretch out. Like usually if you had the third row, you just laid down because like if you're in the middle, you got to sit up. And I remember it was my turn to have the third row, and I'm laying down in the back. We're driving through New Mexico desert, and I'm laying down in the back reading one of my books. And our dad from the driver's seat goes, Julie, you need to sit up and, just really enjoy this God's country. This is beautiful out here. And I remember I sat up a little bit, looked outside, and I said, it's the same view I saw 10 minutes ago, and laid back down. And he didn't like that I responded like that. So I lost my privileges of the third row.
You lost the third seat? Oh, no.
I know. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and stare outside? Or would you like me to read and become more educated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think one of mine was a church trip to Colorado. Like the youth group, like, oh, we're all going to go skiing, and everybody can pool their money, and we're going to go skiing and everything like that. And it's my first go at it. And I got a boot size that was too small. And it rubbed and rubbed and rubbed and rubbed until it was really bad. And that got really bad until I got blood poisoning. And I probably almost died and I didn't know it. And I think I got medicine from someone. I don't know. And I got better, and it was more fun after that. But the trip up there was more the memorable thing because you have I think it was a rented bus or something like that of about 15 people. And our brother and I had at the time we were very much into the Adult Swim show Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And I had the soundtrack too. I had a CD of songs that were on the show, and they were all very annoying original songs. They're obnoxious and annoying, and he and I were just singing them it felt like the whole way. I'm sure for everybody else in the bus, it felt like it was the whole way.
Yeah.
And it was fun to be obnoxious.
Maybe because you guys did that, I don't ever want to ride in a car for that long again.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you planning a garage sale, yard sale, or estate sale and need some help? Look no further than Garage Sales Supply. They provide top-notch resources and expert advice to help you host the perfect sale. From pricing tips to promotional strategies, they've got you covered. Visit garagesalessupply.com and make your next sale a success.
Well, so today I wanted to talk about a recent vacation I went on. I took our one of our nieces with me, and we went to Hawaii. And I've been to Hawaii several times. Beautiful state. Been to some of the islands. This time I went to the island of Oahu. And one of the things I wanted to do there was I wanted to go to thrift stores and understand how an island community dealt with the secondhand market. And it was really interesting whenever I brought this up to some of the locals of, oh, this is what I'm researching, this is what I'm looking at. They all had stories about the secondhand market in Hawaii. So a couple of places that I went to the Goodwill there. So Goodwill, we've mentioned before, it's almost like a franchise type thing, but each individual Goodwill is its own business. They have their own board of directors, their own volunteers. This Goodwill that we went to, pristine. It was clean. They had a surfboard there for $60, which I'm sure was a bargain.
For sure.
The clothes there were clean and organized. Their staff there were very busy rehanging things, putting stuff up. It was the nicest Goodwill I've ever been to. Also looking like, it was funny. I walked through some of the home decor things at Goodwill, and they were selling 2 bags, and each bag was $5, but 2 bags of seashells.
Okay.
And I felt like that was a ripoff. I'm like,
Yeah, right.
I can just go outside and get that.
You might as well sell me a bag of leaves that fell off a tree, you know?
But I did buy a dress from there that I can wear for work. It was actually a really nice dress. But yeah, it was one of those things of, again, I mentioned in a previous episode, I want to go and try to find a graphic tee that is has a local flair on it or something like that. While I didn't find it at Goodwill, it was still fun to walk around and look at everything. And they also had really clean dressing rooms, and sometimes you go into a Goodwill and they don't have dressing rooms.
Yeah.
But this
So
one,
you just drop trowel right there, right?
yeah. So we went to Goodwill. The other place that we went to was a thrift store on Hawaii. It was actually at the North Shore, and I want to say it's more of a boutique / thrift store. So some stuff the owners curated from local estate sales. Sometimes people bring things in. She was saying that she doesn't really accept donations anymore because she wants to make sure that she's maintaining this high quality of things that she's selling. But she does have things from local artists that are there, like jewelry and a couple print shirts. So I actually ended up getting one of the print shirts by a local artist there. But we were talking to her about her space. She was in a different space 2 miles down the road. They had to move to this other location. The other space, while it was like double the size of what she currently has, it didn't have any AC in it. So during the summer it was really hot.
Oof.
And the building needed some updating and maintenance. And so they had to move to a new location. This new location that she's in, I think she had, I want to say it was like 600 or 700 square feet. So not very big for a store. She pays $10,000 a month.
Yikes. Yo.
And that's one of the things that she was talking about. On the North Shore, there's not a lot of thrift stores there. And part of it is that she said that a lot of tourists come in and they see thrift store and they think, oh, that's not good quality stuff, or, they want to buy something new or whatever that may be. So while she doesn't have a lot of competition there, it's also, she's battling this idea that secondhand sales is dirty. She's also battling the high rent that comes with being on an island community. And she would love to be even further along the main strip of the North Shore community. But she's like, the rent just goes up, and she
Right.
can't, like, if your rent's $10,000 a month, like, what do you got to bring home to also pay your other bills and have life outside of that? Uh,
Right. It's gonna be really tough to operate in a space where, you know, Zuckerberg is actively just trying to buy the entire damn island, you know?
yeah.
Right.
There is actually one of the Hawaiian Islands. The I think it's the former CEO of Oracle owns
Yeah.
80% of the island.
Is that Ellison? I don't know. Who
No,
cares? You know what? It was nice when we didn't have to know the names of CEOs.
yeah,
To hell with that. I commit to not remember anymore.
there you go. Um, so I went to Hawaii thinking like, oh, the secondhand market has to be great there because you have so many tourists that leave things behind that they can't take with them, or like lost luggage that like now the airport like, hey, people aren't coming to pick this up, and they give it to whatever kind of community group that can sell it. Um, Also being an island nation of, you know, shipping things there,
Mhm.
very expensive and takes a long time. I have a friend that lives there, and Kim was saying that whenever you order a mattress, you're waiting about 3 months to get the mattress
Right.
because it has to come over on a boat.
Right.
And like what they have there in stock is not like, it may be a few weeks worth, but it's not like we have here on the mainland. Um, but it was still interesting. So this thrift store slash boutique slash consignment store, very clean, really cute stuff in it. You have to have a vehicle to get there, so it's not along like a tourist strand or something like that. The Goodwill, lots of people in there. We had an Uber driver, really great, nice guy, and he was saying that the Filipino community tends to go to the garage sales and Goodwill and stuff like that, and they buy clothes to resell. So that there's a huge resale market,
Okay.
Hawaii. And I was like, "Oh, like they sell between the islands?" And they said, "No, they ship it to wherever it goes in the world because as a buyer, you are paying for that shipping cost."
Mhm.
Um, so my friend that lives there, she was saying that some of the stuff that is now being considered collector items is like the muumuus from the 70s and the 80s. Now younger generations of Hawaiian women are trying to find those muumuus to wear to fancy events and all that stuff, and they doll them all up with accessories and things like that. But it's kind of like, oh, you mean the muumuu that's in my grandma's closet? And
Right. Like,
people are
that's
like,
actually a highly desired thing, yeah.
yeah,
You know, you're bringing up a couple of things I think are really interesting. I mean, like, I love that you did that you went and checked out the scene because an island an island state, an island nation, like, just by its nature, like, the ecosystem of stuff is much, much, much smaller.
right.
So, like, things get recycled, I guess, that much quicker. But then you also mentioned, like, there's a lot more expense in getting stuff to and from that place. But as you're going in there and you're looking around in Goodwill and stuff, how do the prices compare to what you'd see on the mainland?
Pretty good. Like I expected them to be more expensive. Um, I want to say the dress I bought. So the way that this Goodwill worked is that like they just had signs around the facility that was like t-shirts are $3, slacks and jeans are $5, dresses
Okay,
are
so it's about like standard, right?
yeah, yeah. So
Interesting.
like, I think I bought my dress for $7 and like, and I tried on some other clothes. It just wasn't the right fit for me, or I didn't like the color once I had it on or whatever. So yeah, I spent $7 on a dress that's currently at the dry cleaners, and I'll wear it at my next business meeting, and it looks nice. It looks fancy.
I found it really interesting too what you said about that shop owner kind of trying to turn around the sentiment that, oh man, thrift is lower quality.
Right.
Where, but you're also mentioning there are some people that are going, no, no, what you actually want is the stuff at the thrift shop and not anything new.
Right.
And so, and we've talked about it before, kind of the standards for production being better in the past because it wasn't as mass produced.
Hmm.
at some point, I wonder if the script will flip, um, and the perception will be that anything new is actually low quality. What you want is old.
I mean, I think there is already that because she was saying, I mean, she has name brand stuff on the racks. She also has things that you can buy at Target. But the things that she curates, it's to fit the vibe that she's trying to create for her shop.
Okay.
So again, she's like, yeah, there's things in here that you can buy that you're going to spend $50 on and it's going to be a bargain. And then there's other things that you can spend $5 on and it's still a bargain, but you can buy that at Target, but you just bought it here. I will say this too, because we did go into Target and Ross and stuff there. Um, People should know this, but they carry like different swimsuits than what we carry here in the mainland.
Yeah.
They uh, also, I've learned this whenever I went to Key West one year. If you ever need a sweatshirt, go to an island nation, go to a hot zone and buy the sweatshirts there because you can get them pretty cheap because those are not in high demand. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
um, but yeah, it was interesting. The Uber driver we had, he was actually a collector of comic books and he's a reseller of comic books. And I was really curious about this. I'm going, so how do you find comic books here in Hawaii? And he's like, sometimes whenever people find out that he collects comic books, he's like, I get calls all the time going, hey, we're emptying out my uncle's attic. We found a box. Do you want it? And he's like salivating. He's like, yes, I want it. I want it. What he also does is that he flies to the mainland. So he's coming to Phoenix in a few months to go to a comic book convention to either sell stuff or to buy more things. And then he'll take it back for his resale business and find a buyer, or he just enjoys looking at them and he keeps it for his own collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was saying how big of the resale market is there. And I think also too, because people tend to want to move to a paradise and maybe don't realize how expensive it is, or, you know, hey, I need to offset my income or that type of stuff. And so they turn to reselling items that they can buy for pennies on the dollar and then sell it for a little bit more. And then that's how they make some income. But also so it was on Sunday, we were going to Pearl Harbor and across the highway, there was a massive swap meet at the Aloha Bowl, the stadium there. And we weren't able to go to the swap meet, but it's kind of like, I don't know how often they do the swap meet, but it was one of those things of instead of having a garage sale in your neighborhood, you can come do a booth at the swap meet and people have things that they've created, things that they're trying to sell, you know, collectibles, that type of stuff. And then my friend was telling me, she's like, oh, just one neighborhood over from where we were in Oahu. So like one neighborhood over, that's the affluent neighborhood. And whenever there's estate sales there, people like just go there in swarms and stuff. Here's the other thing, Jake. And I know I'm talking a lot, but here's the other thing. I looked for garage sales and estate sales through the websites that I use to find them before I went over there.
Okay.
None listed. So I don't know how they list their sales in Hawaii, if they have a separate website or if they use like the local community papers. I don't know what it is. But I was like, man, I wish I had been able to like stake it out a little bit more and going, okay, is there going to be a good estate sale? Because I also think of like old Hollywood, you know, lived in
Oh, for
Hawaii.
sure. Yeah, like you find some of Bob Hope's old stuff there, you know? Yeah.
Golf clubs. Come on, that'd be
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm sure, like, surely, right? They've got to have some more like local way of, raising awareness that these things are going on. There, like, there's probably some Facebook group or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Or it's a small island. Like, it won't take much effort to find it if you just go a direction. And once you see a lot of blue, stop.
Well, and one of the things that there's an app that my friend told me about that a lot of the people in her Hawaiian community use. It's called
It's
Macari. I know, MERCARI, and it's a reselling app type thing. You post
mhm.
things up there that you would want to sell. But she said that a lot of people that have like the moo that they're trying to sell, they post them on this app to try to find stuff. So I've never heard of it. I've never used it. But it looks like similar to a Poshmark type thing. But yeah, it's another app that apparently a lot of people in Hawaii use to try to sell stuff.
Well, I I hope. Would you please try to reassure our listeners that you didn't spend the entire time in Hawaii going to thrift stores and retail shops? Because
It's
this does not sound like much of a vacation right now.
If you were the IRS, I spent my entire time at thrift stores and Goodwill.
Wow.
No, so our niece really wanted to shop while we were there, and
So you went to Target. Fantastic.
well, uh she's on a budget, and of the things that she could afford, uh thrifting and Goodwill was the way that we needed to go. And now she also wanted to go to Target and try to find stuff there and Ross, and we did that. Um I will say good advice that we got, and for anyone that's going to a very expensive state, you can buy souvenirs everywhere along any tourist street, hotel, all that stuff. If you want to buy tourist stuff on a budget, go to Walmart. Walmart has the same exact thing for less
Oh.
than half price. So, I am fanning myself with this fan that I bought.
Julie's holding up a one of those little fans you unfold and you look very fancy, and it says
Yeah.
Aloha, and it's all floral and everything. So you
Uh,
picked that up at Walmart?
yeah, I picked it up at Walmart. It was like $6 or something. And the thing was, it's like I didn't buy it because it was from Hawaii. I bought it because I've been wanting one of these fans, and I know that they sell them on Amazon, but I didn't need a pack of 20. I just needed one. So I bought this one, and I plan on putting it in my purse. So the Texas summer heat ain't coming after me, son. I got my fan on me.
You can bid the heat aloha.
Well, the other thing is like stuff that I love bringing back for people from other countries, other states, is the local coffee. And Hawaii has
Ooh,
really good
yeah.
coffee. So, and also like local candies and stuff like that. Go to the local grocery store and get that stuff. You don't have to buy it at the souvenir shop. So, um, yeah, so we ended up doing a lot of souvenir shopping at Walmart because Walmart has the exact same thing as all the souvenir
Mhm.
shops have, and but for a fraction of the price.
Well, it sounds like it was an excellent adventure, and I don't know. Like now, I'm kind of wondering, like, what other far flung places could you like look into? And I wonder if you find similar insights.
Yeah, I have a couple more trips coming up, so we'll see if I can stumble upon any thrift stores or secondhand stores I can come across.
They're out there. They're out there. The bigger challenge is to try to find a garage sale.
That is the bigger challenge, and especially like going to some island nations that are third world countries. They don't necessarily do secondhand sales because they don't have abundance.
Right.
But it's also like, well, you got to do something with stuff once it's been used.
Okay.
So
Well, here's your assignment, Julie. Take something to barter with. Take something to offer in exchange, and make it an invasive species.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, usually they want to barter with cash. So, but anyway, I just wanted to bring the whole experience of thrift shopping in Hawaii to the audience.
I'm transported. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks. Bye.
See you next time. Bye.